Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Dream Team Tonic podcast. This evening, I'm joined by Ben. How's it going, Ben? You there?
Hello, mate. You all right?
Yeah, all good. All good, thank you. And of course, we're joined by our Patreon members in the chat as well. So hello to everyone in the chat. Let us know that you're watching. If you did want to get access to the live chat for these live streams, you can become a Patreon member, and the link is in the description below for that. But yeah, how's your week gone so far, Ben, on Dream Team?
Not too bad. 62 points. I'll just pull it up.
Got it up there on the screen if you can see it there.
Right, yeah, 62 points. I brought in Saliba. He got 8 points, and Lindelof got 8 points for Cash and Digne. Simicus I've got in there. He's got 2 points. Johnston got 1 point in goal. And then I got Martinelli, 1 point. Saka, 6. Bruno, 6. Ward-Prowse, 3. Nunez, 2. Haaland, he's on. I've got Max Captain on. Haaland's on the maximum point so far, 10 points. So he's on 20. And Salah got 5.
Decent start, that. Yeah. And probably not that happy about Haaland having the armband at the minute, though, I guess.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I put it on Saka. If at the start of the game, even though it didn't matter, I just put it on Saka, just because I liked his fixtures better. But this game week's not over yet, so we'll see how it goes. Haaland might not even play in Europe.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, and Saka definitely will play in the Champions League, won't he? I don't know about Salah. Probably. Do you reckon he starts? Probably not.
I don't think so. I think he'll probably be on the bench because they're at home. So he'll probably be in the squad. If they were away, I think he would have left him at home. But yeah, I reckon he'll be in. He might come on for 10, 20 minutes, which is all right. He could still score some points.
I did see quite a good argument for Saka to get the captaincy for that. I think it was more on the other games, but Brentford, I think Salah done really well against Brentford, didn't he, down that right-hand side? So they were saying that Saka might. But it just seems like he keeps getting doubled up on each week now. I think he even spoke about it after. Lindelof went all right for you, though. 8 points. You weren't sure which one to go for, were you?
Yeah, I wanted a United defence because they were so cheap, and I needed to enable that so I could enable getting Saliba. I wanted to bring an Arsenal defender in because of the part of the bus next week. And I don't think I'm going to be using it. I probably ain't going to be using it because I'm going to only have, if I can do it, I'll only have 4 out of 5 Arsenal, Liverpool. So I probably won't use it. But I just wanted to get some of them in so it won't hurt so bad because I think there will be clean sheets galore next week for Arsenal, Liverpool.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. Like, do you think you're going to try and move? Do you think you'll try and move more Liverpool or more Arsenal in there to protect against it? I know you can't because they're getting double points. Like, surely better than not having any.
Yeah, I probably will. I think I've got to bring Trent in next week. He definitely Trent, and then not too sure about the other one. Possibly another Arsenal defender.
How would you do Trent? Would that be Bruno money?
I think so, yeah. I think Bruno money. It'll have to be Bruno. They've got tricky fixtures, haven't they, at Man U next week? Newcastle away, Chelsea at home. I had a quick play around, and I had to take Bruno out to get Trent, and then I think I could take Nunez out, which ain't great, to get in either Van Dijk or an Arsenal defender. But I'm not sure about it yet.
I think Nunez will be quite a good differential to have that week, won't he? Because if you are dropping to 5 at the back to play that part of the bus, you're not dropping Salah and you're not dropping Haaland, are you? So
no.
a lot of people will be dropping their third striker, I reckon. Yeah, I do like the look of him in that week. And we just said, didn't we, before, Jota's out. So, or at least he got injured in the last game. So you'd expect Nunes to start both, would you?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so it's not a great time to take him out, really.
Yeah, and one thing on Bruno as well that I'm starting to get a bit shaky, and I was sort of thinking that I'm going to just get Bruno and leave him now, but he's on 4 yellows.
Yeah, if he gets a yellow next week, he'll miss the midweek game, won't he?
And I know the Newcastle fans in our Discord community will keep saying, we keep crying about it, but they dish out them yellows when you play Newcastle. bit of corruption goes on there, and I reckon Bruno's getting one. Bruno's getting his yellow in that game, so yeah, that'll be a disappointing one if you've got him for the double game week and then he ends up getting suspended for the second game. Is that a worry, do you think?
Yeah, that is a worry, definitely. But I think I'm gonna have to take Bruno out anyway to get Trent in. When I do that, and if I take like Ward-Prowse out, I've still got 5.2 million for a defender. So I can't do that, can I? I can't do 5 at the back if I do 2 midfielders out.
No, you would have to lose one of your strikers, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So I might not be able to do it.
Yeah. No, you've already played your other one, haven't you? Your 12th man?
Yeah.
Is that Alvarez?
Yeah, play 12 man. Don't mention that.
Right. We'll miss that one. Yeah, 62 points, 1,218 total on that one. Where does that leave you? Do you know?
A very, very, very small 1k drop from last week. So yes, a grey arrow.
Grey arrow.
Yeah.
Before I'll move on to my one, we'll say hello to a few people in the chat. So we've got obviously our Discord community members. We've got Matthew Gilbert. We've got Connor Tobin, Flower Pot Man. Good evening. Ben, you're here. You're in the chat as well. Seth, evening. And yeah, you can get involved in the live streams via our Patreon. My team, I've got 71 for the week so far. I'm on Johnston as well in goal with the 1-pointer. Started off so well, but he does have these few weeks where it hasn't looked so great. I think Palace looked a bit shaky, didn't they, last game? I was planning to keep him for the next double game week because it did look all right, but I am starting to worry a little bit, start to play around with the goalkeepers. Simicast 2 points, did start, but not very much expected against City. Saliba 8 points, been happy with him since I brought him in. And I took out Matty Cash for Zinchenko, was one of my moves last week. I just got fed up of them, just keep conceding one goal over and over again. Obviously, there's still games to play, but that one's gone pretty well because he had a stinker against Spurs. He got booked and then might have been dragged at half-time, I think it was. So, yeah, happy with that Zinchenko one so far, but not sure he's guaranteed to play too, but we'll wait and see. I've got Martinelli like you. I bought Martinelli in for Bowen, so I've gained a massive 1 point there on that one. I just didn't want to take the risk with Bowen. I know it sounded like he might be okay, but I think when you've got 2 transfers, it's just not worth taking the risk, I didn't think. So, especially in a double game week.
Yeah.
Could he still come back, do you know, for the second game? Or do you think they'll just wait now till next week, even if he is fit?
I
haven't checked the
latest. I don't think they need him really Thursday, do they? They won't need him Thursday. Let him rest him, I think.
Unnecessary. So I probably won't end up bringing him back yet. Saka, 6 points. Even though he just seems to not have great games at the minute, he's still chipping away, getting that assist right at the end. And then Bruno Fernandes, he was on 5, wasn't he? And then he gained a point overnight.
Yeah.
I think it was a generosity point for giving that penalty to Rashford. I couldn't believe that.
I can't believe that's like Saka done it and now Bruno's doing it.
It's the new craze, isn't it? No, I couldn't believe that because, I mean, what would he end up? He would have been on about 12 points or something like that if he'd have scored that as well. Really frustrating. Yeah. Maybe he does all right against Galatasaray. And then Foden, I think he's been a brilliant hold at the minute. I've had him for quite a lot of the season now, so 6 points from him. Ollie Watkins with 7, keeps doing all right. Salah with 5, and then I've just captained Haaland this week, which so far so good. That leaves me. I've gone up 2 places to 38th now, but I think this is going to be the week where I start to plummet if everyone is playing this part of the bus booster. So we'll see. But I'm trying, a bit like what you said, I'm trying to defend against it. So I've got the 2 Arsenal defenders in at the minute.
Yeah.
And I've got Simicast. I think Virgil's going to be popular. Trent's going to be popular. Ben White and Gabriel probably going to be in quite a lot of teams, but it's not sure whether Ben White's going to be fit. But that is a question we've got later. At the minute, I've started to like the look of Kelleher. We was talking about it because Alisson might be out injured for up to 5 weeks is the rumour that's going around on Twitter.
Yeah.
So I was thinking if I can get him in for Johnston, that sort of covers off another Liverpool. So I could have 2 Liverpool, 2 Arsenal. And then it's just what I want to do with the extra transfer. I did look at initially going Raya at the back and having 3 Arsenal and then changing Bruno Fernandes to like a more attacking option because I am worried about that yellow. But yeah, not fully decided yet. Diaz, I thought could look like he could be an option for me actually. Diaz instead of Bruno Fernandes, and then I was actually looking at 12th man. We spoke about it last week, and with Jota potentially being out, I could end up putting Diaz in maybe for Bruno, have Salah, Diaz, and Nunes as my 12th man. Have the 3 attackers from Liverpool, and then Martinelli, Saka from Arsenal. So it's almost the same as the players that are in the part of the bus chip, but the other end of the pitch.
Yeah, and hope they concede a goal.
Well, yeah, I guess even though I had, even if I've got Saliba, Simicast and all that, I'm probably still kind of wanting that, aren't I? If they're double points,
you want them to concede really.
But I know you can't defend against it in a perfect way, but yeah, that's roughly what I'm thinking at the minute. But we'll wait and see what happens. I think we've got a lot of people in our community, haven't we, that are looking at playing it. So we'll come on to a few questions. Because I'm sure there's a few. We were going to ban talk of part of the bus, weren't we?
Can't do that this week.
No, I think we give it till game week 14 at least.
Yeah,
got a few more joining us. We've got Patrick in the chat. Evening. We've got Jordan and we've got Ash as well. So hello to you guys. But let's come on to some questions, shall we? So, Wadey first. So he is playing part of the bus in 14. Do you think that 4 Arsenal defenders is too risky? That's the first part of the question. What do you reckon on that?
No, go for it.
Yeah,
yeah. I think it's a good week to have 4, and then next week, the fixtures are a little bit tougher, but you're more likely gonna get a full strength Arsenal defence for the Champions League than you are Liverpool getting a full strength defence for game week 15 in Europe. That's all I'm thinking about. I know it's Villa away and PSV away, both good teams at home, but the extra fixtures next week, I know you could easily jump off a couple of Arsenal defenders next week as well. So it's not a bad week to have 4 Arsenal, and might give you a good boost up the table if they give 2 clean sheets.
As well, you mentioned next week jumping off. I think I think it might be next week that City play Luton potentially as well. So they're around that same 4 million mark. So you could jump from one to the other. I've said that I do think that 4 is too risky, but I think I am a bit of a careful player or safe player.
Yeah.
I think I'd prefer going 3 Arsenal and 2 Liverpool if I were going to just do Arsenal and Liverpool and just spread the risk a little bit. But I would lean towards having the 3 being Arsenal opposed to Liverpool. I just think we look really, really good at the back now. We've got Declan Rice as well, looking quite organised. So, yeah, I think it's all right. You would do it. I'd probably split it a little.
He's obviously in game week 16, Liverpool have an extra game than Arsenal, but because we have so many transfers, you might be able to shimmy across anyway to if you want to put extra Liverpool in. But looking at the Europa League games, and Van Dijk hasn't played any minutes in Europa League, and he's only been on the bench when they played at home. So yeah, it's a bit tricky with Liverpool in Europe. That's the only thing that's a bit worrying next week. If you've got Van Dijk in this week, you might not play both games next week.
I guess then that is the is it the end after that? It is, isn't it? It's the last round then of the groups, and then what, we back in February for Europe.
Yeah, that'll be the last round. Game week 5 of Europe is this week, isn't it?
So you could just suck it up, I guess. Then just keep Van Dijk in, maybe. But second part was Trippier. So I guess it's the same situation as what we were saying about Bruno. Would you bail on having Trippier in your back line now? Because he's on 4.
Well, if you haven't got Trent in, I'd move to Trent. But yeah, I don't mind having Trippier in. Obviously, if he gets a booking against Man United, he'll miss the Everton game. So, but Newcastle are in the cup, so it's not like a problem if you miss. Say he misses one game with suspension, he'll play in the cup anyway, so you'll gain that fixture back. If you know what I mean, in game week 16.
It's at Newcastle. It's at Newcastle, that one, isn't it?
Newcastle away at Chelsea.
That's been, isn't it?
No, in the Carabao Cup.
Oh no, sorry. I meant the Newcastle United versus United game.
Oh yeah, it's game week 14, isn't it? Newcastle United.
Yeah, I'd be more worried about Bruno getting that yellow than Trippier playing at home. Yeah, I think if I didn't have Trent already, I'd go Trippier to Trent. I think I'd maybe bottle having Trippier in my part of the bus. A quick fire one: Virgil van Dijk or Tsimikas?
Do you know, it's a tricky one, that, because like I was just saying about the Europe. At the moment, it looks like Tsimikas will be playing in Europe and Van Dijk won't, but we don't know what Klopp will do. He might change it, but I mean, Van Dijk's the better player, but it's a tricky one, that. Tsimikas is a good enabler, though, isn't he?
Yeah, for the price, he's been pretty decent, to be honest. I've said Virgil van Dijk for me if I was playing part of the bus. I think he's nailed on for 2 compared to Tsimikas. You could expect maybe Tsimikas gets 1 and then 1 off the bench maybe. So I probably would just go Virgil, but it's what your budget allows, I guess.
Yeah, game week 14, Virgil van Dijk will play both games. But then game week 15, he probably won't be. Obviously, for the part of the boss, you want the player that's guaranteed 2 games. So if you look at it like that, then yeah, Van Dijk.
Always could get a header as well, I guess, from a corner or something. And then number 4, question number 4 from Wadey. Is Diaz an option in midfield to ward off any big Nunez hauls?
I don't know if it'll ward off any Nunez hauls, but yeah, like you just said, if Jota's out, then Diaz is a very good option. What is he, just under 4 million?
I think it was 3.6. I haven't written it down. Hang on. 3.6, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good price.
61 points so far, averaging 4 points per game.
Yeah, definitely an option there. Obviously, Gakpo's on the bench as well at the moment, but I think Diaz is ahead of Gakpo, but who knows? Who knows who's going to play next? I mean,
I guess you're just hoping for Nunez at least one.
Sorry, mate, what?
I think you're at least hoping for a start and one off the bench, aren't you?
Yeah, he'll get minutes, definitely.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind Diaz. Like you said, I don't think he will keep up with Nunez. I think Nunez will outscore him in that week. But I don't think it's a bad option. It's just what else can you do with that money? If you have got around 4 million, there are quite a few good midfielders, isn't there? So, yeah, maybe. I'm still not 100% sure I'll go there yet. And then we've got Lee with a Ben White question. He's been stung by Ben White. I think he brought him in instead of Saliba, it was. And of course, that was just before the international break. So Ben White was dropped out of nowhere. So got stung with that one. I think he kept hold of him this week. He's asking, does Ben White play next week? What do you reckon? Because he wants him for his part of the bus.
Oh, I think he'll be back in against Lens in the Champions League. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that he'll be back in against Lens, and that's the game to keep an eye on, isn't it? If he's back in and starts against Lens, I'm pretty certain that he'll start both games after that, as long as he comes through sort of without any recurring injuries. But he's normally pretty good to play both, isn't he?
Yeah, I think White will come in and Zinchenko will keep his place. Tomiyasu usually comes in against the better teams, doesn't he? When he has to do like a man marking job. When Zinchenko's got free reign, he usually plays against the weaker sides, don't he?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Ben White's first choice at right back.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think Ben White would probably, as long as he gets through this game and starts, I think he'll probably end up playing both. And then I think we'll probably see Zinchenko and Tomiyasu start to rotate again between the two of them. Maybe Tomiyasu will rotate with Ben White on the other side. But I think Ben White will go back to playing twice a week. Yeah, I think I would keep hold of him, but it just all relies on what happens in midweek, I think. Is who's the good winger for Wolves? Is he out injured? I've forgotten his name now.
Neto.
Neto, yeah. Is he injured at the minute?
Yeah, he was injured. I don't know if he was in the squad tonight though.
Because that's the sort of player that I think if we were up against Wolves, they'd put Tomiyasu.
Yeah.
He's not in the starting lineup today, so yeah. Anyway, Ben White, I think he'll be good to go as long as he does start against Lens in the Champions League. But would you move him on if he didn't start in the Champions League and he was benched again?
Would I move him on? Possibly, yeah. If I'm definitely going to play part of the bus, I want 5 players that are going to start both games. So, would that worry you? Would you not? Would you move him on?
If he didn't play any part, then I think so. The thing that he came on for like a minute against Brentford, and I think if any part of you was worried that he could injure himself again, you wouldn't bring someone back on for the last couple of minutes. You'd just go, oh, we've got this. I think so. Yeah, I think he'll end up being okay. But if he doesn't play any part against Lens, I think I would move him on if I could.
Obviously,
sorry, go on.
Sorry, I was going to say, just obviously wait until deadline though, because there might be some news comes through.
Actually, the early game.
Yes, is it 3:00 the games on Saturday?
Yeah, let's just quickly check that because that'll play a big part in it, won't it? Game week 14.
Yeah, there's no like 12 game. It's 3:00 deadline. 2 p.m. deadline for Dream Team on Saturday.
Yeah, I think wait then. I know Arteta runs a tight ship, doesn't he? But sometimes there's some leaks that come out that are quite good. Right, David 87. So any non-European playing options that are catching your eye from game week 16 onwards?
Well, that's the week of the Carabao Cup, isn't it? So basically, the only team that's not in Europe there that's interested me is Chelsea. They've got Sheffield United at home and Newcastle at home in the Cup. So Sterling, Palmer, possibly James when he comes back from suspension, he might be even cheaper because he's 4.1. When he's on his game, he can be like 5.5 million defender easy. You're getting him underpriced there. We've been taking set pieces and that could get a goal or assist or create chances. Sanchez as an enabling goal, maybe 2.7 million. But yeah, no other teams in 16, maybe 17 could start looking, but maybe Spurs. But then Spurs are not in the Carabao, got no chance of. Obviously, they're out of the Carabao Cup. So then, game week 19, you got the Carabao Cup semi-final first leg. So it's more extra games. So you probably better go in for the Chelsea option if you're going to look for a non-European team player.
That's a good shout. Actually, I didn't consider the next round of the cup actually. So
yeah, more tickets for points.
Yeah, we have previously seen quite good scores as well in that, haven't we? But it's just so hard to predict the lineups. Maybe a bit harder this year. I had my eye on Eze, but obviously he got injured in this last one. I think I got a bit lucky there because I was seriously considering him instead of Martinelli. And I put Palmer down as well, but he's creeping up, isn't he? 3.2.
Yeah.
By the time we get round to it, if he's sort of like the 3.6 sort of mark, it's not going to start to look as great, I don't think. I didn't consider Sterling. That's a decent shout. I'd put down though Sanchez again because he was one of my plans to move on Johnston, but I think I might scrap that plan now. I did put Spurs down, so I think their fixtures do look good. I know they're not in the cup, but they've got Forest, Everton, Brighton, Bournemouth, United, Brentford, and then Everton again. I do think their fixtures look good from 16, just no cup games. So I think Son looks like he could be a fairly decent option for that one, depending on whether he finds his form without Maddison. He was quite unlucky. I think it's 3 offside goals, wasn't it, in that last game?
Did he get 3 in the end?
I think it was 3, yeah.
I only seen one of them. He curled it in the corner. He was just offside.
Yeah, he's offside.
That would have been 2-0, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one, but I mean, I saw people putting on Twitter that they were really unlucky with not getting a hat trick off him, but I'm not sure about that. If you're offside, aren't you?
Yeah, you're offside.
And then I put Porro down at 3.2 at the back, just because if they do start to get their defenders back around that sort of time, because they've got a few suspensions and stuff, they were pretty good at the back, and he's got 4 assists so far. So I reckon I may consider the odd player, as much as I don't like to put Spurs players in my team. Shout out a few more people in the chat, because we'll shout out Philip, who's in the chat, because we've got his question coming up soon. We've got Matt Woolley. Hello, Matt. And we've got first time caller Charlie in the chat as well. So hello to all of you. Drop a like on the video as well if you've just joined us. We've got Connor Tobin's question next. What are your early thoughts for transfers and your captain for game week 14?
Definitely captain in Salah next week, I think, for 14. But not sure on my transfers. Definitely thinking about getting Trent in. But the other transfers, I'm not too sure yet. I like the Kelleher transfer you were saying, possibly get another Liverpool player at the back, even though it's not double points, but it's still extra Liverpool. So I like that shout. But yeah, not too sure yet.
We need a proper confirmation, really, don't we, that he's going to be out for a while. If it's like 2 weeks or something, I don't think I'll be interested. But if it's 5 weeks, like they're saying, that takes you through to like Christmas, doesn't it? Sort of time. Yeah, I don't mind that. That's sort of what I was looking at. Just maybe him in goal, and then maybe changing. I could actually put him in goal. I don't know what you think of this, but Johnston to Kelleher, and then upgrading Simicast to Virgil van Dijk. I know it's a bit sideways, but I've gone from having Simicast, who could play one out of the two, to definitely getting 2 fixtures out of Van Dijk. And then I think we should be all right for Kelleher. But yeah, I'm not completely sure yet. And I'm toying with that idea, like I said, of maybe having 4 strikers this week while everyone else is sort of playing part of the bus if I go for a 12th man, flooding up top. But what do you think of on 12th man? Would it be Nunes? If I've got Watkins, Salah, Haaland already up front, would you do Nunes? I did think about, ideally I'd want to have someone that's like a penalty taker, like an Isak could be all right, but his fixtures aren't quite as good. Do you think Nunes would be the best one?
It's not a bad shout. Yeah. Great fixtures, isn't it? So, and they got if Jota's out, there's more chance of him getting more minutes as well. Yeah. I'm gutted I used mine now, but it was a good week to use mine. But I just still think be good. I wish I had another one because I'd like to use it on like De Bruyne later in the season when he's playing, because obviously it's going to be hard to get him in with his price. So yeah, that would have been a nice time to bring him in when they had like a double game week in the Champions League or something.
I don't think he's far off either.
Yeah,
I saw a post today.
Yeah.
Was it New Year? Just trying to see if I can find it, but I thought I saw it might have been fairly early in the new year that he could
21st of January, possibly.
That would be interesting. That will spice things up, won't it? Definitely. Right. Yeah, my captain was the same as well. I'm thinking of just going for Salah. I just think at home Fulham looks good, and Sheffield United are just awful, aren't they? Pretty bad. I imagine he's going to do quite well in that one. Spurs, Aston Villa for City. They're not easy fixtures, but you do think Haaland can score against anyone. So yeah, Salah for me as well.
Yeah, with the Spurs defense all like injured and that, could be a bad one for Spurs. That, especially with a high line, Haaland could go mad.
And even Villa aren't. I mean, they're not that tight at the back, are they?
No.
Really.
Keep conceding one goal, don't they?
Yeah, and that's not teams. That's not against teams of City's caliber either.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Right, Philip's question. I've got on the screen here his screenshots of his team to help us out. So he was going to do part of the bus in game week 14, but he held on to Bowen, hoping that his injury wasn't as bad as it was made out to be. So now he's got Bowen and he's just got Eze, who's got injured as well. So it's kind of disrupted his part of the bus plans. Would you hold on to Eze and so keep an injured Eze and stick to the plan, which was to take out Watkins and Bowen for Trippier and Ben White? Or do you wait to use the part of the bus and get Bowen and Eze out? What's your initial thoughts?
You answer this first because I'm a bit confused.
Right, it's a long one. So, Philip, I'd get Eze out for sure. I don't think in a double game week I'd want someone that's not going to play at all. You're going to end up with no points. And at worst, if you can get someone that starts twice, they're going to get the 2 appearance points in each. And it's probably going to be a lot more, I think. So I'd still get Eze out. Could you not maybe hope that Bowen starts, keep Bowen, and take out Eze and Watkins maybe? You wouldn't be able to end up with the guys you've got there, like Trippier, for example, and Ben White. You might have to go someone a bit cheaper, but I think I'd still play it, but maybe go for a cheaper Arsenal or a cheaper Newcastle if you had to. I definitely wouldn't keep an injured Eze though. But maybe just don't force it if it feels like it's not gone to plan. It's a tough one. You might end up with Bowen playing though.
Yeah, I wouldn't bring Trippier in. I don't know. I'd probably target more Liverpool and Arsenal just because of the fixtures are so good. But yeah, if Bowen might be back next week, so Eze looks like it's going to be out for a few weeks. So if you're going to do part of the bus, I'd probably go for a couple more Liverpool or Arsenal defenders instead of Trippier, and take out Eze and Watkins.
Yeah, I'm not great at the mental maths here with the what budget you'd have left, but I'm guessing obviously you'd take out Bowen and Watkins so that you could afford like the two upper price defenders in Trippier and White. But surely you could maybe go Zinchenko, or even Virgil van Dijk will be cheaper, won't they, than Trippier?
Yeah,
there must be a cheaper way around it. But drop a message in the Discord and we can have a look at it there and work it out. But I've not got the calculator out at the minute. But I think that just about, the last part of the question was, would you consider going 4-4-2, and still playing part of the bus? But I think I'd want 5.
Yeah, you got to maximise the chip at least. You got to play with 5 at the back and try and do really well. Can't use it on 4. There'll be loads of opportunities in the season to use it.
Yeah, either don't force it or don't keep Eze in and not have him play, I think. What's up next? We've got Patrick. So, have you got any moves lined up for game week 15? I find it's not part of his question, but I find it a bit harder now to look that far ahead. Do you? With all these transfers. What are you thinking for 15?
I'm trying to think about 14 at the minute. No, I haven't got anything lined up yet. I haven't even looked that far. I've got an eye on the Carabao Cup in 16, so I'm looking at players with other possible extra games. Really, Man City's got nice fixtures in 15, but got Luton away and then Red Star Belgrade away. But after that, then they go to the Club World Cup in game week 16. So they only have a single against Palace, and then they're away, and then they don't come back until they play Everton in Boxing Day, do they? So It's like you using 2 transfers maybe to bring some City in, but then you've got to take them back out again. So it just depends on your team, really. I haven't really looked at that. So, Liverpool players I'm looking at possibly. Chelsea in 16. But Newcastle, maybe start looking at that if I'm going to park the bus in 17. So I might have to start bringing some Newcastle players in. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, fairly similar. Like I was looking, and I think the City one is the standout one. But I don't think it's going to be a massive week, that 15. Like this week, the Arsenal and the Liverpool fixtures look quite strong, don't they? Looking at 15, we're probably going to have a few dead European games, aren't we? City might be done. United could be done in a bad way, maybe. I'm hoping Arsenal will be through. Liverpool should be all right. I think the European fixtures are going to be hard to capitalise on for that one. And like you said, I think City, but I've got 2 already. I've got Haaland and Foden. Maybe consider going for maybe a defender or a Doku. But then do you want to have 3 in that back-to-back singles? You only got Haaland, have you, in yours from City?
Yeah. I had Rodri. I sold him last week.
Yeah.
Don't trust the rotation.
Yes, it is frustrating, isn't it? I said Liverpool looks fine. I'd probably keep my Liverpool or even maybe add Liverpool because they look good for a good amount of time. And then Arsenal defence, that is the tough week for Arsenal, isn't it, defensively? Aston Villa and PSV. I could look at switching an Arsenal out maybe for a City, but I haven't thought about it too much in advance, really. A bit like you, I've got a bit fixated on this game week 14. The planning definitely seems to have shortened a little bit, doesn't it? With all these moves. That's about it though. What about captaincy? I haven't looked at captaincy actually for 15. Yeah, it's got to be Haaland, isn't it? Luton.
Yeah.
They're actually they're not terrible. I feel like we'd say about targeting Luton all the time, but I was looking at something the other day and their record actually isn't that bad. I think Twed mentioned it possibly in the Discord. But their defense, we target them as a defense, but they're not actually that bad. Where is it? I jotted it down here. But they scored against Palace, Liverpool, Villa, Brighton, and West Ham. And then at home, it was only Spurs that kept a clean sheet against them in 7 games.
Yeah, they're decent at home, aren't they?
Yeah, so it could be might not be as good as it always looks on paper. Should we go to Ryan's question? So, based on what you've seen so far and also the upcoming fixtures, what would your ideal midfield be from now until New Year?
Don't know. Ideal midfield. Saka. Not far off what I've got now. Saka, Martinelli. I'd like to keep Bruno Fernandes in my team, but it's just budget-wise, I have to probably get rid of him. And I like a City midfielder, but I just don't think I'll go there to the rotation. So it might be someone like Diaz if Jota's injured, someone like that. I like Szoboszlai as well. If once the European games are over, he might start playing like more because he doesn't seem to play in Europe as much, and he does all right for the bonus. He's got 16 points so far this season. He's on some set pieces. So yeah. What about you?
Would you do a 4? Because I'm pretty sure that I'm happy with 3 strikers. There's so many good strikers to choose from. I'd go for 4-man midfield.
Yeah, I reckon 3-4-3.
Yeah, I think that's
after I park the bus, like.
Yeah, I said Saka. I've put Foden in there. I think Foden's brilliant. It doesn't seem to be. I don't feel like I've been stung. I've had him for quite a while. I don't feel like I've been stung that much with rotation for him so far. Might be a different story when De Bruyne's back in. I'll put Bowen if fit, because if he's back next week, I'm going to want Bowen back in. He's been so good. And then for my 4th slot, I put Bruno, but I put / Martinelli. It's just working out whether Bruno's worth that money investment at the minute. I just don't know what it is. His points feel worse when he doesn't do as well as some of the others. Like he's sitting on the same amount of points as Saka for this week. And for some reason, I feel like, oh, Saka got an assist. He done all right. Oh, Bruno just the 6. I don't know what it is. But yeah, that would be my 4, I think.
It's because he's the second highest priced midfielder in the game, and he's not doing as well as some of the cheaper ones. And the cheaper ones are all creeping up to about his price soon. So Bowen's on 5.3 now. Yeah, and Foden's on 4.9. It's creeping up.
I think it's because we just know how well he's done previously as well.
Yeah.
Just know he's capable, but he's just not quite hitting it.
I've had him all season, and I took him out the week before last, and he got like 2 goals. Put him back in, he's only got 10 points in the last 2 games.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I took him out that week that he got back-to-back hauls, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's trolling. We might have to take the Mahrez approach where you just keep him or you get rid. Right. Andy Barnett. This is a tough one. After the deadline has passed, 2 of your players are injured for the week. Which would you prefer? Defender and striker, or goalkeeper and midfielder? I'd have an injured goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Injure my goalkeeper and injure my midfielder.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't want to risk. I would be annoyed if it was Haaland, and I'd be annoyed if it was Salah. So I'll go that one. Oh, what's your favourite nostalgia football moment? Think about or watch back. You still get goosebumps or hair standing up.
Probably. One off the top of my head is the Leicester beating Man United 5-3 when we just got back in the Premier League. They were 3-1 up with like 20 minutes to go, 25 minutes to go, and we scored 4 goals. Vardy scored his first Premier League goal in that game as well. That was a brilliant game. I remember being in the pub with my mate, and he's a Man U fan. And me and this other Leicester fan was there, and we were just going bonkers. Just like, what the unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
What season was it?
2014-15 season. Van Gaal was the manager of United. I think Van Persie scored. Di Maria chipped the keeper, and I think Rooney might have scored for them. And then we Nugent scored for us. Ulloa, Vardy, Cambiasso scored his first goal as well. What a player! Unbelievable player. Yeah, some game that was.
Mine was, and it cropped up on my timeline again recently, actually. Do you know when Thierry Henry came back for the loan spell?
Yeah.
At Arsenal. I think it was Leeds he scored again.
Yeah, it was Leeds. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and he was talking about that goal.
Yeah.
He was saying it's the first time he scored a goal that he scored a goal for a team he supported. Because like when he was playing for Arsenal before, he was just there as a player.
Yeah.
And then when he went away, he became a fan. And when he came back to score, he said it was like scoring. And then I knew what it was like to score for a team I supported. Something like that.
The one bit that makes it the hairs stand up on your neck even more though is if you put it's the Titanic music on top of on top of the highlight, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was a craze. I remember seeing the Beckham Greece free kick, and they were putting the Titanic music on that one as well. But yeah, that Henry one for me. Then we got
that England 5-1 as well was a brilliant day. You see that?
Yeah,
unbelievable against Germany in Munich.
Yeah, that was a good one. Right. Last question, I think. This is the last one from Magoo. Who do you think will be the most impressive player this season from a points per million perspective in each position? So goalkeeper, defence, mid and striker. I must admit, throw our hands up with this was a later entry. We hadn't got any data or anything to back these up. So we're winging your question, I think, unfortunately. We start off with points per million goalkeeper. I think it's got to be Johnston, isn't it? So far, so far this season.
Do you think he'll keep it up though?
Yeah. So this is for the whole season. Do you reckon? For the price, I think maybe. Yeah, I think maybe still will be up there for points per million.
Another thing as well, like if the player's cheap and then goes on a really good run, the price is going to go up and up and up, isn't it? So then the points per million it will change. But yeah, Johnston's probably the standout one at the moment.
Yeah, I think there's too many other ones around the same sort of price. Onana's probably looking the best one, isn't he? Out of is it the 3.7-ish?
Yeah, there's loads on 3.7 now.
Moving on to, if we go on to defenders, who's been the best bargain defender at the minute? It's a hard one because someone like Tsimikas, it's not going to last, is it? Robertson will be back. So it's like, who seems underpriced? I still think Saliba looks underpriced when you look at the other Arsenal players in defence.
Yeah, good shout. Yeah, tricky one.
It's hard to find ones like, because you got like Livramento's just popped up as well. There's quite a few like bargain ones, but they're not going to last the season.
That's a good one, that Livramento as well. I wonder if you can win like nail down the right back space and maybe Trippier goes to left back at some point in the season.
Yeah, defence is a tough one though. I think still Matty Cash. I've taken him out in a minute because he's just frustrated me a little bit, but he's been brilliant so far, hasn't he? Even without that many clean sheets. And I will be going back there at some point.
Yeah, he got taken off again at half time, didn't he?
Yeah, but it's because he kicked a lump out of was it Bentancur that's just come back from injury?
Yeah.
He had a massive swipe at him and got a yellow card for it. And I think he looked like he probably would have, if he was marking Son or someone like that, he probably would have been in trouble. So I think they just stopped him getting sent off. Midfield, any points per million bargains there? I think there's a few more for midfield.
Anthony Gordon started well, hasn't he? And obviously Palmer.
Yeah.
But Anthony Gordon's the one in Europe that I like to stand out. But you got Eze. To be honest, I can't think of any other ones. Ward Prowse has been good this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess there might be some. If you can get some of the low 4 millions, they might end up being all right. But yeah, I think I was going to say Eze and Gordon. I think, and then just strikers. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's hard to know. I mean, we haven't pre-worked this out, but it'd be interesting to know like how even Haaland might end up, because although his price is really high, his points are going to be ridiculous again, aren't they?
Yeah. He's averaging. He's averaged 10.2 points so far this season.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. If Alvarez had kept it up, his start of the season, I'd maybe have said him, but he's gone into a bit of a dip, hasn't he? So, yeah, it's a tough one. Isak, I think, will do all right.
Yeah. Have you seen in the chat, Matt Woolley? He says he's nervous here in probably getting rid of Nunez for part of the bus.
Shall I bring him in just for Matt?
His points.
I'll keep him safe for you.
It's horrible, isn't it, when you got to take one of the strikers out to do it?
Yeah. Right. I think that's it. Yeah, we'll maybe have a deep dive into that and put it in the Discord, because we didn't really have time to have a proper look at that last one. We'll go on to the leagues.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, Tonic Cash League top 10. You can check this on ffstuff.co.uk as well. This one's on there. Shows you how many boosters and everything everyone's used. So in 10th place, we've got H. Jones. In 9th, we've got our very own Anthony Sutcliffe. In 8th, we've got L. Greaves. In 7th, we've got S. Williams. In 6th, we've got H. Cartridge. In 5th, G. Walker. In 4th, C. Tobin. In 3rd, B. McLaren. In 2nd, G. Payne. And then myself in 1st. Maybe for the last week after this part of the bus, but I'll take it for now. You can do the tag team. Have you got that up on the screen?
Yeah.
Is that there for you?
In 10th place, James Fricker and Ryan Driver. 9th place, Tom Brinley and Aman Tatler. 8th place, Mark McKee and Patrick Bryson. 7th place, Kyle Gregg and Lee Chapman. 6th place, Liam Greaves and Matt Brackley. 5th, Louis Wright and Matt Kent. 4th place, Connor Story and Scott Harris, yourself. 3rd place, Tony Sutcliffe and Andy Barnett, the Blackburn duo. 2nd place, Simon Davies and Stephen Williams. They've used all their chips now. Oh, sorry, boosters. And 1st, Barry McCormack, Bazza and Ben Coles. Where is he now? In the top 10, Ben Coles?
Oh, I think he might be 6th.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? 6th.
Let's have a quick look. We'll shout him out. 7th place.
Well done. We'll have to start reading the top 10 leaderboard.
Yeah.
He stays up there.
Right, what we got up next? We've got the Patreon Cash League. So in 10th place, we've got L. Giles. In 9th, D. Williams. In 8th, we've got Anthony Sutcliffe. In 7th, Jay Bevan. In 6th, S. McKee. In 5th, Jay Payton. In 4th, we've got G. Paul. In 3rd, we've got C. Tobin. In 2nd, A. Barnett. And top again, Ben Coles. Top of all the leagues. Premier, onto you.
Yep. 10th place, Tom Brindley. 9th place, Baz McCormack. 8th place, forgot his first name. Andrew Tweddle. 7th place, Owen Jones. 6th place, Jake Bevan. 5th place, Gaz Paul. 4th place, Andy Barnett. 3rd place, Owen Higgins. 2nd place, Scott Harris. And Ben Coles top the sharp.
That's the exact reason why I just keep saying the first initial, because I know I'll fluff one up eventually. On to the championship. So we've got R Driver, we've got S Morrissey. In 8th, we've got G Hill. In 7th, Anthony Sutcliffe. In 6th, C Tobin. In 5th, we've got C Story. In 4th, we've got A Wade. In 3rd, R Fitzsimmons. In 2nd, S McKee. And in 1st place, A Stringer. League One for you?
10th, S Broughton. 9th, our very own James Fricker. 8th, C Ryan. 7th, Foster Crouch. 9th, L Giles. 5th, P Jones. 4th, L Chapman. 3rd, J Payton. 2nd, G Payne. And M Warner top.
Well played. Well done. I think is that them all?
That's it.
That's the league. So cheers to everyone that's joined us in the chat today. If you're listening in the future, there'll be the link for the Discord and the Patreon. You get access to the live streams, early access to the podcast. You've got our Discord community, got some exclusive articles, and I'm sure there's some other stuff, but that's all I can remember at the minute. If you've enjoyed it, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel as well. Anything else to add, Ben?
Yeah, get the like button going. There's only 6 likes. Not very good that this week. We had 50 odd likes last week.
I think it was delayed actually, that one, because I came off here and it jumped right up. But keep smashing it anyway. Keep hitting that likes. But that's all, is it? Is that everything?
Yep, that's it.
Wicked.
Cheers, everyone.
Enjoy. Have a good rest of the game week, and we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.